I'm getting started with this one right now. It looks like we got both the players here. So let's just jump into game 1 of ApparentlyJack versus Chronic, the Gen G rivalry, which ended up actually being very close the other day when we had these two play against each other. Jack beat Chronic in 3 games. Chronic beat Jack in 2 games. I think they might be doing a... Are they doing a ping test here? I can't tell if this is serious. Yeah, it looks like they didn't know if it was ping test or not, so let's just restart. I should have clarified that there wasn't no ping test, but that's fair enough because earlier on we did do one, so that's fully expected. Fully understandable that Jack thought that was a ping test because he did do one earlier on against KV1, but these guys are both American. Yeah, they're both American players, so didn't do a ping test for this one, but I should have clarified. That was on me. On me. But you could tell by Jack's movement there that he didn't realize this was a serious game. Now we're into the real game 1 of AppJack versus Chronic. Ping test 2, he says, JK. Yeah, they both played each other on my channel recently. You can catch those games on my YouTube channel. They're all very funny games, actually. They were in comms for large parts of it. Both of them were able to beat Nolly a couple times each, and they both beat each other a couple times each, and then Jack won the money match at the end, the 1-game money match. So he's the favorite in terms of seeding, and he's also got a win on Chronic in very recent memory. Let's see if he can replicate that today. You got an error. Is the site glitched? Honestly, I have no idea. I'm not gonna lie. If you do have any issues, I'd message ProDrops on Twitter because I don't actually work for them. I don't know. Jack's really got these little wave dash mechanics down now. Very consistently. It's good to see that he's taking it seriously to get on top of that new mechanic that's recently been popularized. He's taking his time with his attack here, going for another bump on Chronic. He just got a demo at the other side of the pitch. And he probably thought about going for another one there as well, but that would have been risky. So yeah, pretty smart move I think by Jack not to overextend for the demo there. Chronic trying to threaten one of his own now, but Jack's in a safe location, seals the mid boost away. And now puts a threatening shot on target. Threatening enough to force Chronic out of position. And also to force him to use all of his boosts. But lovely pathing there from Chronic to get a challenging angle. Nice and early. Jack knows this boost is spawning. Oh, the timing is impeccable. He flipped in for that one, knowing it was about to spawn exactly at that moment. And I've not talked to Jack specifically about this, how he does it. You know, some players like to... look at the clock exactly as they're grabbing a boost so that they know, like if you look at the clock and the clock says 3:41 when you're grabbing the boost, you know it's going to be back at 3:31, but only a couple players have told me that they do that. The vast majority of pros just do it purely based on feel. You just feel like it's coming back. You've just got an internal clock for the 10 seconds, and it's what I'd suggest for you guys to do as well if you're trying to get good at knowing when the boost is coming back. Just think about it. Don't so much try and... I don't think it's a good idea for you to, you know... I don't think it helps you build your instincts to look at the clock technique. It can work for some people, but I think it's better to just do it by feel. As long as you're paying attention to it, as long as you've got a rough idea of how long 10 seconds is, then you should be good. These saves are outrageous. We have got a low-scoring game here, but it's entertaining. The defensive stands that both players are putting up. Chronic with a bump now onto Jack, who tried to flip back into position, and he couldn't get it off. Great play by Chronic. Reset. Close to ceiling height, but didn't want to hit the ball. Just waited for the ball to bounce, and then under it he went, and he clatters Jack into the back of the net. I've got a feeling this is going to be a very aggressive matchup off the ball, going by the first few seconds here. Here's Chronic using that same technique that we've seen from... or rather, Jack using that same technique we've seen from Jan recently, just letting himself be bumped on purpose into the boost. It's all about not panicking there. You don't want to panic and jump right before somebody bumps you. You're just going to stand there, just understand that they can't actually hit supersonic if they have no momentum. Even with a wave dash, if you haven't got a lot of momentum with a wave dash, you're still not going to reach supersonic. You can get supersonic if you're going at full driving car speed, like no boost driving straight line speed, with a wave dash flip. Even with no boost. But yeah, if you don't have a lot of boost, as in, you know, somewhere between 12 and 0, very hard to hit supersonic with a no momentum wave dash dodge. It's very touch and go. As long as you can put your opponent on low, very low boost, no momentum, you should be safe. Elephant TG, thanks to 75 month tier 1. Welcome back to the channel. This game is starting to swing a bit more Jack favored. It's still only 1 goal in it, but Jack looks like he's in pretty good control of the field at the moment. He's got a good handle on where Chronic is. Oh, look at this from Chronic though. He really was threatening a lot there. Double tap. The just simple reset shot. I say simple, of course. You know I just mean standard. It's far from simple. And even the bump on the tail end of it as well. This is extremely threatening. Is the chat supposed to be in the middle? Yeah, trying out a different chat for this chat position. Oh, what a read by Jack defensively. Chronic might have been able to steal the boost away, but I think he was worried that might be on target, so he darted back quickly. Didn't want to get the counter-attack to make it 2 goals against him. Lovely demo there by Chronic. But yeah, what do you guys think about the new chat position? The reason I put it there is because sometimes, at least in tournaments, the chat can be a lot more full, so it's not really legible. I've just made it almost double the width, but the height is the same. Obviously, if I put it double the width to the side of the screen, it's not going to work because it'll fill too much to the side. But I figured it might sneak in the bottom there and work out pretty well. And yeah, you guys might actually be able to read it. You guys who are watching the VOD or watching on YouTube and want to see what the live chat is saying, because it does tend to move a lot faster during tournaments. But yeah, it's an experiment. That's a great challenge by Jack. He's got control of this as well. Wow, fantastic stuff. That's why it's important to go sometimes. If you never go, if you fake every ceiling challenge, then your opponent's just going to air dribble slow and keep control of the ball. But that time Jack just stayed with it, and a very precise dodge gets him a big win in the position. He tried to demo Chronic there, didn't get him. Chronic was unable to threaten a counter. And Chronic trying to catch the ball at the tail end of his dodge there. Jack's got an open net. Chronic actually cuts it off. The ball's got an orange trail there, and Jack's able to read the bounce. It's a little bit better than Chronic did. And watch this again. Jack didn't miss this one. That was just Chronic with a keen interception. And I think had he a better read on where that ball was going to bounce, he would have been fine there. Positionally, it wasn't a lost position entirely. It might be a lost game now though. Jack just too solid, too consistent, and 3 goals, 21 seconds should be good here. Jack's asking Chronic, why is your name like that? Chronic says, I was a demon on this name in 2020. Jack said, do you not get placeboed because of that name? It looks pretty heavy to me. I love that from Jack. If he can get Chronic to change his name mid-series, that would be a massive mental victory for him. Chronic will double in 4th, but it is nothing but consolation at this point. Did I say thanks to Asmeric for the 6-month tier 1? I think I did, but just in case I didn't, welcome back to you. Chronic did reply, he feels heavy right now, so he might actually... Wow, is Jack going to get him to change name? Chronic says, actually, I'm changing it. He's really changing the name because Jack told him it's heavy. Jack's asking him, is the question mark questioning yourself? I don't know why you'd do that. He is totally inside Chronic's head right now. Chronic's trying to make him... he's trying to make this backfire. He says, if I destroy you now, you have yourself to blame. I don't know if this is the best counter punch here. I think Jack's fully inside his head at this point. And the fact that Chronic changed his name after his opponent suggested it. Yeah. Very, very, very big L. I'd say very big L. Chronic's asking, does he have to update his name or is it updated? I think it only updates once the next lobby starts, but it should be updated. Yeah, it did. It doesn't update in the post-game lobby itself, but there you go. Chronic is now back to Chronic. That's crazy. I don't think we've ever seen someone persuade their opponent to change their name before. Especially in that manner. That was very interesting. Mental warfare from Jack. You saw the early challenge coming out of Chronic here. Couldn't hang with the wave dashes though. He did get a little bit of a bump onto Chronic there to at least stay in the position for a bit longer. He's not in a great spot here, Jack, but fighting for ball pressure, and that clear should buy him time for the boost. Grab, yes, there it is. Yeah, he definitely shouldn't. You guys are right who are saying he should have named himself Chronic exclamation mark. That would have been the move. No way, Chronic. Oh my goodness, that is an open net miss and a half. What on earth did we just witness? Well, if he had placebo about the question mark, he's going to have placebo about the lack of it now. I think Jack's missed this one as well, although that was a much tougher one to hit. And right, Chronic, second time lucky. There you go, he's done it. And Jack can't catch it, so finally an open net goes in. That was a bit of a questionable move for Jack there to play for the demo. I mean, he did leave himself pretty vulnerable to the counterattack if it didn't work. Yeah, Chronic immediately admits it was not the name. Some of you who are newer to seeing Chronic at the top level of NA, both in 3s and in 1s, because he took a bit of a break from 1v1. Chronic's actually one of the true OGs of the... Maybe not true OGs like way back, but he's pretty OG for the North American 1 scene. He was playing 1s before he was old enough to play RLCS to a very high level. He was, you know, very consistently top 3 North America for a time. Yeah, very, very rich 1v1 history before he took a break from it and focused on trying to get into RLCS on his old team. And of course, now that he's dominating RLCS in his new team Gen G, he's that's coincided with his return to the 1 scene, which has been a very, very successful return. But yeah, Chronic, back in the day, I wanted to mention to you guys who are newer to seeing Chronic's play, he used to really get inside his own head a lot with text chat, and I've not seen that happen today. I don't expect to see it happen today. I think he's really matured a lot as a player, both on the field and mentally. But he used to really, and yeah, type 1 in chat if you remember this, Chronic used to, he would almost trash talk himself in series that he'd be playing. He'd just be saying, why am I so bad? I can't do anything right. Oh, that's a great save by Jack. But yeah, Chronic these days, hopefully he's not going to fall into that trap again and start to doubt himself unnecessarily. Love that play from Chronic. He knows he's got Jack on maybe 12, 20 boosts, something like that, so takes the ball to the air to force the jump out at Jack, and he knows that Jack has to use all his boosts there. Even if he does dodge the demo, he's not going to have an immediate counterattack. Uh-oh. Well, Chronic worked all that time for a lead, just to then lose it in the same way that he was losing kickoffs the last time these two played. It's probably a lot more of you will remember the game I'm referring to where Chronic was losing kickoffs. He jumped in Discord, said, Johnny, what on earth do I do? And I told him pretty simply, just get goal side and flip towards the inside, and he's not done it there. He's gone on the outside of the ball and he's flipped to the outside. So let's see what he does in the next one. I expect that he's going to be a lot more solid. Nice little fake there though from Jack. Got Chronic in a completely wrong position. Chronic should be able to save this one. I think he had most of the near post covered there. You know, he might have scored this. Jack's going to have to be quick to get back. He's not going to be quick enough. Chronic scores a 50-50 from his own box. I mean, really great positioning by Chronic. Jack trying to surprise him by going for that. But Chronic was ready for it and did counter it. Now, Chronic did, in fact, line up for the exact strategy I was talking about. Inside, goal side of the ball, flipping to the inside, but Jack switches as well. And that is the mark of a champion, the mark of a great player. He didn't go for the kickoff, and it worked, says Chronic. Chronic's saying that you didn't go for the kickoff and it worked. Wait, has Chronic not seen this before? Does he not know about this? Surely he's seen this before. Jack says the lights in his room went off. Oh yeah, Jack's a lights on player. He likes having the lights on, so that might actually be triggering him. There's a chance for Chronic to capitalize. Yeah, do you guys think Chronic's just never seen the half-flip kickoff before? That's crazy if Chronic hasn't seen it. I mean, it's crazy in a way, but also, like, you know, anyone who's thinking immediately like, wow, that's ridiculous of Chronic not to know that. I want to very quickly mention that most professional Rocket League players don't watch a lot of Rocket League. And the reason is you're going to burn out of Rocket League very quickly if you watch too much of it and you're playing a lot of it, you're scrimming, you're playing ranked to grind mechanics, you're playing tournaments. If you know, maybe you're streaming, making content, if on top of all that you're also watching a ton of Rocket League, like, you're gonna burn out more quickly than somebody who's just like focusing on the important stuff. And you know, with coaches being so prevalent these days, the coaches can watch the Rocket League for the team. The team doesn't need to go and watch all the Rocket League. The coach can do it for them. So I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't, if that's a new strategy to him. Wouldn't be entirely surprised. Okay, well, we do have still a 1-goal game. Chronic, I think, has to win this game, though, if he's going to have a realistic chance. He just did it, though. No, I think Chronic you'll know about the... he'll definitely know about the fake kickoff, but I don't know if he knows about the half-flip kickoff. Does he know about that one? So hard read by Jack. Chronic wanted the air dribble. Jack not going to give it to him. Jack says predictable. Chronic says that was cringe. He said, number 1, that was cringe. Number 2, stop calling it that. Referring, of course, to Jack saying Donkey Dash. I don't know why Jack's trying to popularize Donkey Dash. Okay, what's Chronic got left? He's got 1 more goal in the tank. And I say what's he got left because I'm kind of expecting to see, like, this is Jack favored. The chat volume is Jack favored. Chronic's got to get his head in the game here. So both players push the ball through each other. Well, Fears just messaged me saying that AJ switched cars mid-game, and I have no idea how to rule that. Just had to let them play it out. For goodness sake, I mean, I didn't know that we need a rule for that, but I mean, I guess technically if you're back for the kick, did he win? Was he losing and he switched cars and then he won? What happened? what happened? Oh, for goodness sake, why are players like this? Fear paused it. He got back in time. It was tied. Did AJ leave and Fear had to pause it for AJ to get back in time or something? Yeah, it's a pretty tough one. I can't blame Fear for not like having an automatic response for that one, because when a player leaves the lobby, the caster / admin would assume that it's a disconnect and you would pause the game and wait for them to get back. Now, generally, when I'm doing tournaments myself, since I'm not psionics, I don't have a way to check the hardware, the software, the internet connection, etc. that is attached to a Rocket League account. I just know what I see in the game, and with those limitations, what I usually do is if somebody leaves the game, I'll let it play till the next goal. And then I'll pause it. I'll usually pause it after a goal, and that's to prevent players from faking a DC when they're boost starved or something, because they're going to concede anyway. So, yeah, that's the only stipulation I usually have in place. So if there's a disconnect, you play on until the next goal, and of course, if the player doesn't want to play on until the next goal, if he just wants to, if they just don't dribble the ball into the net, of course I'll pause it. But it's really up to the player who's still in the lobby if they want to take the goal or not. AJ is now own goaling 3 goals. What? Great read there by Jack to predict Chronic's position. He's definitely got inside Chronic's head with the chat, and now I think he's inside Chronic's head in the game as well. No, if he hasn't been since the start of this. What's the score in AJ KV1? Is AJ winning the series? All I know is that AJ won a game, according to you guys. I don't know what the overall score is. It's 2-0 AJ, and then he own goaled 3 times in game 3. Is that what happened? That's a weird, very weird behavior. I'm not sure if he's trying to flex on KV1 by coming back from 3 goals down or something. Really, I don't know. 2-2 game 2, 2-2 all goals by AJ. Oh, he own goaled twice, right. Okay, so AJ's own goaled twice and it's 2-2. Interesting. What kind of own goals are we talking? As in, just he dribbled the ball into his own net, he just own goaled for absolutely no reason, or is it like accidental. Like deliberate or accidental? I'm guessing deliberate based on the way that this... He dribbled the ball into his own net and then KV1 said, just play. What on earth? Maybe, okay, alternate idea for what might be happening in AJ KV1. So maybe AJ feels bad about switching cars and he wanted to give KV1 some goals / give him a game. Because he feels bad for switching car mid-game. Because yeah, obviously you can't switch car mid-game in Rocket League in general. I've never even thought to tell players not to do that because I thought it was just... I mean, I've never even thought somebody would do that. But yeah, maybe AJ regrets that decision and is trying to make up for it in whatever way he can think of. Anyway, sounds like they have a game continuing on now. So... hopefully that will be fine. Oh, what a save. Chronic bumps Jack, who is on track for a free aerial. Forces him to miss it. And he'll have 100 boost. He had 100 boost to defend the next play. Jack staying away from any potential demo. Now going for one of his own. Connects with it. And the ball dips in underneath the crossbar. He didn't want Fear to pause. Well, it's not really on Fear, is it? Like, if AJ just said... Did AJ say be right back before leaving? Because... if AJ just leaves the lobby, like, the caster / admin will pause the game. Because they assume it's a disconnect. Like, there's lots of different types of disconnects. Your internet could DC, your game could crash, the game sometimes just kicks you to the main menu for no reason, like... Of course he's going to pause there. Like, if AJ's saying he didn't want him to pause, like, well, what did he think was going to happen? Of course he's going to pause. AJ says everybody does it. No, they don't. No, they don't. Well, maybe, I don't know, maybe in private matches, but no, they don't. Switching cars, like, mid-series, but mid-game, no. If somebody disconnects, like, it's getting paused. It is getting paused. I mean, he might be referring to, like, somebody coming back from a DC in a slightly different car, which I don't even know if that's allowed in RLCS, but certainly the game would be paused. It would be paused, and yeah, I'm curious to know if there's rules about that in RLCS. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. I don't know. You know, in scrims, people do it mid-game. Well, if I have to explain to you why this isn't scrims, then I think you might not be ready to be a part of this conversation. Oh, well played. Jack's just reading Chronic's early challenges here. Chronic not faking enough, I reckon, to keep Jack guessing. That was a pretty obvious one because Jack's just got plain view of Chronic. Reverse challenges tend to work best when your opponent has the ball low in front of them and they can't see you coming. At that time, Jack could just see Chronic clear as day. Oh my goodness, I mean, how has he saved this? The saves that Jack is pulling off in some of Chronic's aerial plays have got to be so frustrating for Chronic to go up against because he's hitting nasty shots. And Jack is just reading his mind. He's just in the right place. And to make matters worse for Chronic, Jack gets in his way when AJ's trying to... Or not AJ, sorry. When Chronic's trying to recover. And blocks the defensive path for him as well. Look at the consistency for Jack with these little wave dashes. Now he's absolutely figured it out. But what he's not figured out is how to double jump save. Jack says that's in. Okay, didn't think it was in. Fair enough. I guess if you don't think it's in, fake jumping does make a bit more sense, but not gonna lie, to me that looked extremely in, and I was on Jack's POV. Yeah, I'm aware that the issue is that Fear paused. No, Fear paused, should pause the game there. He did the right thing. Don't worry, Fear did the right thing. That's what I would have done. It's what any admin / caster with admin mode would do. Yeah, hopefully KV1 is able to play out the rest of that series without any issues. I know that can be a bit annoying when your opponent's messing around like that. There's the kind of messing around that we've got between these guys where they're just talking in the chat and trying to get inside each other's heads, but then, you know, there's wasting time where you're just actually making the series take unnecessarily long, like is happening there. Right, Chronic is trying to make this series necessarily long. He doesn't want this to be a 3-0. He doesn't want it to be a 3-1. Of course, the series score doesn't matter in this format. It is just win and you're through, lose and you're in the lower bracket. But of course, the bragging rights are on the line here as well as everything else. Jax forced Chronic inside his own net there. Half of Chronic's boost depleted. Now the high flick from Jack. The double tap is there. And The open net gladly accepts Jack's shot. Fantastic stuff from Jack. Another lunging early challenge from Chronic, countered as Jack flicks the ball high over the top of him. The fact that he's managed to flick that over Chronic while also keeping control of it, very impressive stuff. Jack going to try and get a quick shot off here. He's at a boost deficit briefly, but as long as the shot's good enough, the boost steal is there. Jack wants to dunk on the end of this, so Chronic might have actually tripped on the post. What on earth happened to him here? With 15 seconds to go in game 3, Jack is now just looking at the sweep. Yeah, Chronic trips on the post. I don't think he was sure if he wanted to go off the ground or the post for this one. But if you're flying off the back wall, flying off the post like that, you can't have your joystick pointing in any which direction. Otherwise, you are going to flick by mistake. Now here comes Chronic, looking for the equalizer, and he's got it. What a banger as well. Chronic with the side boost launches the ball into the air, collects a reset, and uses it instantly. He absolutely plunged the ball straight down the center of the net. And Jack would have saved it had it not been for Chronic's massive blocking touch on it. Now Chronic looking to go infield immediately. He might actually reach this. Jack's going to keep it up. And neither player has a chance to get there. Overtime, game 3. Chronic has lost quite a lot of kickoffs by being too far away from goal side. This time, he is dead on goal side. Doesn't want to concede a kickoff goal immediately. Jack comes away with possession either way. Our shot of OT will go to the Englishman, now Canadian. And Jack takes it in a clean 3-0 sweep. He has not dropped any games today. 3-0 versus KV1. 3-0 versus Chronic. He says, thanks for having me. See you tomorrow. Jack in the money and in the semi-finals. Looking like the favourite of the tournament right now. The fact that AJ's in the lower bracket, Jack just swept Chronic, who beat AJ. Daniel's in the lower bracket. I think Jack's favourite to take it